you all for coming to this special town council meeting. It's Thursday, August 11th, 2023, and we have just one item on our agenda for today. Are there any changes to that, or have unanimous approval to go with what we've got?
I'm fine with what we have.
Okay.
Today's
Okay. The agenda is approved. And Barb, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you all for doing this on such short notice. As everyone is aware, we contract with Key Sanitation. They're formerly Montgomery County Sanitation for our trash, recycling, and yard waste collection. Our current contract runs from October 1st of 2021 to June 30th of 2024. And the contracted rates for the trash, recycling, and yard waste are all fixed for the duration of that contract. As you all likely remember, we amended the contract in about a little over about a year and a half ago to add a fuel surcharge provision that is still in effect through the duration of the contract. Effective July 1st of this year, Montgomery County increased its tipping fee for trash collection from $60 a ton to $70 a ton. We were subsequently approached by Key Sanitation requesting a increase in their monthly fee for trash collection only, basically to account for the increase in the tipping fee. The specific amount they're requesting is $577 per month, and they calculated that based on the average tonnage generated by each household times the 361 households. So that comes on an annualized basis to $6,924. I think all of you know we charge an annual household assessment to cover the cost of our trash, recycling, yard waste, and large item collection. Those rates have to be turned into the county by the end of May each year so they can be programmed into the real property tax billing. So we don't have an opportunity to change that $395 a household fee. We would need to absorb the roughly $7,000. From a budgetary standpoint, we are seeing enrollment in the pilot composting program a little less than what we have budgeted. So there could be some savings in that program cost that's budgeted for in the same line item as our trash cost. Additionally, as needed, we could also transfer funds from the contingency account if we need to do so. So I certainly don't think that the additional $7,000 would cause any budgetary problems. So with that, certainly I'm happy to answer any questions, but I would recommend that you all authorize an amendment to the town's contract with Key Sanitation to increase the monthly cost from the contract currently contracted $6,227.25 to increase it to $6,804.25 retroactive back to July 1st of 2023 and continuing through June 30th, 2024.
Really quick, I want to bring Todd up to date on this fuel surcharge. And Barb, please correct me if I'm wrong, but we only pay when the average price of gas reaches a certain level. So it's not a constant.
It's not right. So without getting too specific, and I thank you for bringing that up, Joanna, we have like a little tiered system. So basically it only kicks in if the price of diesel is $3.61 a gallon or higher. We basically have certain brackets, so it can range anywhere from either $500, $1,000, or $1,500. And basically the way we calculate that, Todd, is the first of every month, I pull down the AAA gas prices for the Washington metropolitan area. So, and send that to them and then tell them that they can bill us for whatever that amount is. So for the month of July, for example, we budgeted, assuming worst case scenario, we only ended up paying them $500 as opposed to $1,500. So there may be some savings from the fuel surcharge as well.
I also think it's important to at least put into context that they've provided really good service to us in terms of their pickup, their collection. Management and interactions with management leaves a little to be desired. And so I think it's important that we bid this out, sort of looking down the road. I think it's important that we look to, rather than just extend the contract long-term with this budget change, I think it's important that we see if there's something else out there. Is there a route, Barb, that could we do this just for like 3 or 4 months? I mean, could our amendment be like a short-term thing? Like, why are you recommending that we take it basically another 10 months?
I think part of that's just sort of taking into account, I've not discussed that with Key Sanitation. I think, I think certainly they would be open to anything you all want to do, but realistically, we've got a number of projects kind of in the pipeline. Bidding out trash service is not a simple matter, and I'd like to probably revisit the specs we've used before. As I've shared with Joanna, it's pretty common in most trash contracts that you can automatically sort of pass on tipping fee increases. So I'm not sure that whether the reason we've ended up where we are right now and the reason for this meeting is because Key Sanitation bid their services in a certain way, or if we need to sort of revamp how we do our contract documents. But most of it, Joanna, is just simply a matter of staff workload, and also trying to make sure that it's kind of a balancing act, because we want to make sure that we can take care of other projects you've all assigned, but also that we get through the bidding process in enough time that we know what our new rate would be well before you adopt the annual household fee. So this is certainly not something that would linger for very long, because we do need to get a bid out on the street, probably no later than the first of the year.
So because this is a budget amendment, we need council members to vote on it. So what thoughts? What do y'all think?
Are we ready to propose? I mean, I would make a proposal along the lines of what was just stated. I'll state it as I wrote it down, unless somebody else wants.
Oh, you mean like a motion?
A motion, yes.
Oh,
Are
okay,
we
so you're ready
ready for that?
to, are there any questions? Does anybody have questions or concerns before we just take a motion and vote?
So I've got just a couple of quick things. I assume that Key Sanitation is the new name for Montgomery, and we've had Key Sanitation for a while, I thought, right?
Yeah, so technically, it's a good question, Phil. So technically, our contract was with Montgomery County Sanitation. That's not a county government function. It's kind of a confusing name. And then you would also see Key Sanitation. So Montgomery County Sanitation was essentially the company of Kenny Schumacher. Key Sanitation was the company of his son, Brian Schumacher. Kenny basically closed down Montgomery County Sanitation, essentially retired. And we were approached about reassigning essentially the entity name for contract purposes, which we did. But because there was that family linkage between the two companies, that's why you would actually see Key Sanitation trucks picking up, even though it was a Montgomery County Sanitation.
Okay, that
Yeah.
helps. Thank you.
Yeah.
The second thing is, how often do you think the county would change their tipping fees? Is it like once a year, quarterly?
Yeah, I actually had that conversation with Brian Schumacher. Kayla and I tried to go back. My impression from Brian Schumacher, Key Sanitation, was that the county rate increase kind of came as a surprise. We went back through, specifically Kayla went back through archive versions on the county website. It looked to us like they changed the rate in FY18 and set it at the $60 a ton. But it also looks like they had changed it in the year or so leading up to that time. So it certainly looks like the county is reevaluating it more regularly than maybe Key had anticipated.
I will point out that in that change from FY 2017 to FY 2018, that had only been a $4 per ton increase, going from 56 to the 60. So I can see why Brian might have been caught off guard by a 1-year increase that was more than double the last previously recorded increase, just for context.
Yeah, the interesting part about Key's bid, and once again, I can't speak to whether it's how they bid it or how the town actually kind of required bidders to bid, but their rates not only were set for the October 1st, 2021 through June 30th of 2024, there's the opportunity in the contract for 3 1-year extensions and then some extensions beyond that. My reading of the contract is that Key barring any authorization from you all to amend the contract, was not in a position to change its rates to almost 2028. Which is kind of unusual. So,
Okay.
Can I just ask, are there, I mean, this seems like an area where there might not be much competition. I mean, are there other viable,
oh yes, 100%.
collecting-
We've got right in our immediate borders, because obviously when this started happening, I was checking with some colleagues who I know, who I thought had Key Sanitation. Chevy Chase View, for example, contracts with Ecology. Kensington does the same. They were actually our contractor when I worked up in Carroll County. Then you have obviously Waste Management and some of the much larger companies. I think Unity is a big provider for Montgomery County government. So there are a number of haulers who can provide this service. It's just a matter of what it costs. And
Yeah,
we,
the pool has done it with, also with their dumpster with other people.
okay.
There's definitely other people. I mean, when I was once, and I'm sure Joanna might remember this, when I was at a while ago at the Maryland Municipal League, why, you know, there must have been a dozen people out there looking to try and haul your trash for you.
Any other questions before we make a motion and vote? All right, well then Todd, go for it.
So I think the motion would be that we allow Key Sanitation to increase its monthly cost to Garrett Park for collection of trash from $6,227.25 per month to $6,804.25 per month, retroactive to July 1st, 2023, and to enact this from July 2023 to July 1st, 2024, but to try also to explore other possible bidders for the next expanded contract that Garrett Park undertakes for trash collection.
Just to be clear though, it's not that we would allow them to raise it, it's that we would amend the contract.
Oh.
So that we would pay that.
I'm sorry. Yes, we would agree to pay the increase of $6,804.25 per month for trash collection from July 1st, 2023 to July 1st, 2024, but explore also other options for trash collection starting at the end of that period.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Lisa, thank you. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Two,
Aye.
Aye.
four,
Aye.
5. Okay, great.
That's all we needed.
Okay,
Thank you, everybody.
thank you all.
Thank you all for doing this on such short notice.
Absolutely. And Todd, I want you to check your text. I texted you. I'd love for you to get back to me. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.